medicine list. This is my professional relationship medicine list. This is me with me. And you're just going to list them. List all of them. The best, most impactful things to list are the things that you don't want to write down. Say that again. The things that are going to change you the most on your medicine list are the things that you do not want to write down. You do not want to admit them. That's where we're going to go today. And this is you with you. These are your lists. This is not a couple's list. Everyone's got their own, and you'll see why. And then you'll see when to join it if it does involve somebody else. That if I burn my hand on a cast iron skillet while I'm making bacon, right? It's going to tabulate, okay, skillet, hot, don't touch the skillet, smell, bacon, don't touch that. It was Sunday, grease. So if I do it enough times, it's going to have this negative response. And every time I make a negative response to protein, I have to heal from the memory of it. I have to get better at being able to work with a cast iron, have the skill sets to go, and I have to train it over X. Awesome. Mother, father, child, we got this. They will give us the label of that person always rolls their ankles, or that person always gets a concussion. Once you roll your ankles and get a concussion, you always have ankle and concussion. That's what they do in relationships. Oh, that person's pattern. Oh my God, they're narcissistic. They're blah, 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 blah. Or they're avoidant of their attachment, or they're this, that. Like, stop. It is no more a cycle or a pattern than you rolling your ankle and you continue to roll your ankles. All we have to say is, do you like how you feel when you rolled your ankle? No. Do you want to change it? Sure. Done. Do you like how you feel when you treat people like that, or when you're treated like that, or when you exchange? No. Do you want to change? Done. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just acknowledge that because it's all a healing response if we don't like it. It could be preference. Like, I don't like fish. That's not a healing response, although it is some sort of protection. When I put fish in my mouth, it just seems gross to me. All right. They will give us the label of that person always rolls their ankles, or that person always gets a concussion. Once you roll your ankles and get a concussion, you always have ankle and concussion. That's what they do in relationships. Oh, that person's pattern. Oh my God, they're narcissistic. They're blah, 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 blah. Or they're avoidant of their attachment, or they're this, that. Like, stop. It is no more a cycle or a pattern than you rolling your ankle and you continue to roll your ankles. All we have to say is, do you like how you feel when you rolled your ankle? No. Do you want to change it? Sure. Done. Do you like how you feel when you treat people like that, or when you're treated like that, or when you exchange? No. Do you want to change? Done. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just acknowledge that because it's all a healing response if we don't like it. It could be preference. Like, I don't like fish. That's not a healing response, although it is some sort of protection. When I put fish in my mouth, it just seems gross to me. All right. The brain nervous system will always protect short of that. And that means it'll always limp. It'll always be afraid. It'll always short step that one side. Every time you approach a curb, you won't step down. So think about how that goes in relationships. Every time you enter one, you start to get loved back, or every time somebody feels like they're starting to get distance, or every time you start to, hover, or we hurt it's all the same stuff. And it's all coming from protection so that doesn't happen again. Protection so that I don't roll my ankles again. Protection so that I don't burn my hands again. Protection, protection, protection. Healing response. Beautiful. Do we like healing responses? No. But thank God they're there. They're supposed to be things we don't enjoy. Otherwise, we would not change. And that helps us. There were some questions and some concerns to dissolve the anxiety behind you with you. If you literally looked at them, they would be pleasant if they didn't want you to change. They are most unpleasant when the body wants you to see the most. And I'm going to share some of my stories from earlier this year, because it was the most intense feelings of healing I've ever had in my entire frigging conscious life. We are going to test ourselves, because how do we know? We're going to feel better pretty quickly. How do we know we've changed? Because you're going to see tests in your lives, and you're going to see wins with those tests. In real life situations, relationships too. You're going to test yourself purposefully in these areas to see that you're improving. That's why you saw my annual strength test this year. I'm kind of stoked from this year because I put together maybe 14 of them. And if I were to say this was a year that my physical strength was at the lowest because I was healing so massively and it was costing so much energy to all these other areas that I can't even believe I was able to do some of those. And I purposely put myself into that just so I could see while I was feeling what I was feeling and going through what I was going through and healing, I could still represent that. Let me just see. In worst case scenario, I'll just get injured and heal it. It's not a big deal. But some of them were scary, kind of pumped. You're going to do that as well. You're going to test yourself in your training. You're going to test yourself with your nourishment. You're going to test yourself with other relationships. You're going to test yourself all over the place to see, oh shit, I'm improving. Huh, that's a win. Boom, done. In addition to all other areas that you're going to observe and be very, very sensitive to, just having listened to what you're going to listen to today. Um, how do we know we've truly healed to a level greater than whatever the damage was that caused the response? Pushing it away so that you can last longer to make changes. Okay. So even the damage from childhood that we experience, and we'll go in and see where to identify, it is just a protective healing response. Now, everyone else is going to be like wound, negative, bad mom, bad dad, negative response, negative response. You got to dissolve that. You got to fix that, fix that. And now you see where I'm getting. Oh, you got digestion stuff. Oh, you got hormone stuff. You got to fix it. Oh, you got pulled muscles. You got stiff joints. You got calcifications. Or you got herniated. Just fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. You don't fix these relationship things no more than you fix an ankle, then you fix a back, then you fix digestion, then you fix skin, you don't fix any of it. So if we come from a place of honesty where it's coming from and we're true about it, we're honest about like our fucking badass bodies created a healing response that had us survive a healing response from mom and dad, which will tie this all together because all they're doing, as I said, they're just swelling symptoms of feelings of guilt and shame and lonely and all these things. So I know that the work I'm doing is working, even though how I feel isn't necessarily something I want to repeat or hang out in. You see what I mean? So there's going to be clues because some of you are like, how do I know it's working? There's going to be wins a lot of places in a lot of other areas. Aha moments. That's another thing. I've had all these like epiphanies as I'm starting to break this whole thing down. Because again, I don't read media, I don't do research, I didn't do any of that. There's enough research in my life for me that'll give me lifetimes of information. I don't want to read somebody else's things. So that's where I go into my life and just see the different reactions or hear the different stories from the people and the different responses that I give, or I talk about it to somebody and the way I deliver it was way different. I'm like, oh my God, even to you guys now, I've never said it this way. You'll notice changes in other systems. So my skin was responding as I said, that changed. I had a cyst that changed. I had total body weakness and fatigue that was changing. I couldn't digest. Biggest rule in nourishment, eating when we're not hungry. Uh, and I and now we found ways to loop it in with training as well. So this work is going to be some of the gnarliest, coolest work, which is why then nourishment's got to fit and support it, and sleep and job shifts and everything else is going to sit with it. Okay. But it's not to prevent. I wasn't going in, nor am I doing the work to prevent my skin. I'm going in because my body needed to use my skin to get my attention so I understand. Big difference between understanding and preventing. That's a post. And oh, this was a post I came up with presenting this. We don't heal. We understand, we change, and we increase our ability, and healing just happens. It's literally just the understanding, but we're not doing stuff to heal. And that was a post I just came up with preparing for you guys. Yeah, boom. What do you think about that? So what did we learn? It's wisdom with. We lose wisdom when we fix. And so again, the fruit for the 3 months of the job change, like if we were to just go in and fix that, we would miss out on meeting the gentleman who's going to help with the cars. We miss out on moving to Costa Rica and falling in love. And you just miss out on all the things, again, this entire year, I would have missed out on all this understanding for me that now I'm literally going back in. And if I could have applied this to any of them, first of all, to the mountains and instead of doing meth, I do marathons. Same fucking thing. Or instead of drinking alcohol, I do martial arts. It's the same thing. We're not going into why you were feeling the need to choose alcohol or why you're feeling the need to, but martial arts is better than alcohol. Is it? Can't say that, right? Yes, some things carry inherent certain thing, but no, there's some things that are nullify, neutralize all that. Okay. One more movement pattern. Again, don't stay locked into the movement options that I provide. You can do anything. Pick ones though that you can go to failure. 10 seconds. I'm thinking of that memory. Go. That's good. I'm good. Pretty awesome. And again, listen to me. Get away from the whole uh I'm doing it, I'm not doing it perfect. Or I don't think I'm doing it right. Or I don't go into it. Go into it, stimulate your body. Done. We just have an approach. We just have something we're doing. And we're going in and we think we kind of understand. Are you going to grab all this? No. This is going to be ongoing forever. Right? Like we're no way. Keep going. But lay off yourself. That's part of you judging yourself as a perfectionist. Do you like that? No. There's a belief reprogramming tool right there. Relationship with yourself. You have a belief that you have to be perfect. Where's that coming from?